Hello and welcome to race 2 here at the combined layout at Kyoto driving park for the Rei Sportscar Championship. This is the second 15-lap race here, and on pole position is Mako. In second place we've got Luke Mitchell. In third place we've got Sig Rezanico, our championship leader. In fourth place is Charlie Fraser. In fifth place is Scuderia driver. In sixth place is Happy Hippie. Seventh is Alex and Claire. Eighth is Samios. Ninth is our race winner from the previous race, Scanny Flick. And then 10th place, opting to start at the back of the grid, is the Mexican driver Pix Teca. So we had a great opening race here with, as just mentioned, Scanny Flick winning after a very good one-stop strategy, starting on the harder compound. Meanwhile, Mako, who is now starting on pole for this race, is actually starting on the softer compound, the racing softs. So as we see the 10 drivers weave their way towards the opening turn, they will start going now. And Mako there, third, fourth gear as approaching turn 1, with Luke Mitchell in second, also on soft tyres. Third place is Sig Rezanico, so this is the highest up he's ever started in a race. The grid for this race is decided on a reverse grid of the previous race result. And he had a disappointing result last time, and it's a disappointing start as he dropped down to 4th as Charlie gets through there at the exit of the S's. Charlie getting a little bit on the grass though, and that might allow Sig to get past, and we've already had an overtake for the lead, and let's go on to the Wolf Cola replay. So what has happened with Mako and Luke here? Luke gone really through the corner incredibly well. Mako did not. Mako getting loose there on the curb. Luke takes the lead as we go into the hairpin. Sig making a move on the inside, and that looks like a good move. Scuderia also making the move. Contact with both of them. Sig stays in third, even with the contact with Scuderia driver. Charlie's now on the inside though, and Happy Hippie is in 6th place just behind. You can also see Sammy and Scanny, who finished first and second. The last race making contact, and Scanny stays behind Sammy as you go into this fast left turn. Already got so much action, it's hard to keep up. So Sig into third. Charlie dropped down to 5th after losing 2 positions at the hairpin. Ooh, that's a little bit of a dive bomb. Sig, I think, might keep the position around the outside there. More contact with the 2 of them. Charlie now on the inside, which now becomes the outside as they go for the right-hander, and there's a little bit of contact. We got them on the grass. Is it just one on the grass? Scuderia driver, more contact there with the Italian driver. And actually, let's just go back as a replay. There's so much action. So we'll actually go back here on board just behind this battle. So Charlie and Scuderia just maybe breaks a little bit too late, but not as late as Happy Hippie did, who went storming through, stays in 6th place, Alex in 7th place. Then you can see the contact overhead between the Honda and the Nissan. And then they quickly go on board to Charlie. Oh, so Scuderia was trying to make a move on Sig. Charlie was trying to make a move on Sig, and I don't know if Scuderia saw Charlie or not, but Scuderia almost ended up on the grass. Scuderia goes at the 3rd, Sig down to 4th. Charlie actually goes down to 6th as Happy Hippie gets by. And we've still got all 10 cars fairly close together here, although the top 2 have slightly broken away with all of that carnage there in the Miyabi section of this combined layout. Ooh, Sammy and Alex, and I think Alex there, maybe a little bit of contact there. Alex falls down to 9th. Sammy in 7th. So Alex has dropped down there behind the drivers who finished first and second in the previous race. Meanwhile, Sammy on the medium tyres is hounding Charlie also on medium tyres. So Sammy's starting on mediums because he started at the back. He doesn't want to waste any soft tyres. And Sig's gone Has Sig gone off? Oh, sorry. No. But he has gone off, actually. So here he's just run a bit wide, and then has he been able to hold on to the position with Happy Happy? Oh, so Sig got very loose there. That's a very weird place to get loose, I think. Sammy there getting by Charlie. But they're still side by side through that long left-hander. Sammy struggling to keep it around the outside though, and that means Charlie manages to get a car width ahead. Ooh, look at that Alex there at the back. On the inside, he pulled that move off on Sig in the opening race here, but can't pull it off today with a scanny flick. Sammy on the inside. Oh, and that's almost spun Charlie a razor around. Sammy slowing down at the exit of the corner, lets Charlie back through, and that also actually allows Scanny to move into 7th place. But he now slots in that little gap there between Scanny and Alex. But maybe not for long as Alex goes deep into the final corner. No, he doesn't go that deep actually, stays towards the inside curve. Good move there. Up front, we haven't really been able to pay too much attention, but that's a massive gap here pulled out by Luke Mitchell over Mako, both of which are on soft tyres. Both of which have similar ballast. And we've got Scudero Driver, medium tyres, Happy Happy, medium tyres, and Sig, medium tyres. And actually, I think that most of the runners outside of the top 2 are on medium tyres. Yep, that does seem to be the case. So there was just a quick run through the 10 drivers. As we go further up, we've actually got Happy Happy closing on Scudero Driver. These two do find themselves quite close, it seems, in previous races. Another 2 drivers that I think are quite close are Charlie and Scanny. So Scanny had a good result in race 1, obviously, with that fantastic win. But it's going to be harder for him to win this time out after starting near the back of the grid. Probably will expect the top 2 on the soft tyres to pit maybe around lap 6, lap 7, and then maybe attempt a one-stop race. Meanwhile, the medium runners, if they're doing a one-stop race, will pit a bit later on, probably about lap 9. Or if they're doing a 2-stop, they'll pit around lap 6 and then do... Well, they could pit lap 5 and then do another 2 stints on softs. One of the drivers who's doing something similar is Charlie Fraser, so he's pit on mediums. He will now go for, 12 laps on softs, I assume, so that'll be 2 6-lap stints. So yeah, he's on softs, he's in clean air, and that might allow him to jump some of these drivers, such as Sig, such as Happy Happy, Scanny. You can see there in the track map on the right hand side that Luke Mitchell has got a huge gap already. Meanwhile, Charlie there at the back just after his pit stop. Mako's got a new livery here, so you can see his beautifully coloured Honda NSX. A little bit spread out after the opening lap, definitely more spread out than it was in the first race. of these two sprint races. But with the tyre strategies coming into play later on, we might find more action, and that is a very bold move. Bit dangerous driving, and we've got more contact between the two, and Scudero might move back into third place. He does so. Braking too late there from Happy, I think. Now running a bit wide, so Scudero, they're holding on to third place after the incident at the hairpin. Scudero definitely would not have expected such a move. Oh, we got a car round. It's Pixtecker in 9th place, so he's spinning around there at the hairpin. Meanwhile, our race leader Luke Mitchell comes into the pits a little bit earlier than I expected, honestly. Will he rejoin ahead of Sanios? That's sort of where I put him, and actually he's rejoined easily ahead of Sanios. He's rejoined ahead of Alex Sinclair even. We'll go on board with Alex, and you can see that little car ahead. That is the Brit of Luke Mitchell. He's now on soft tyres, so he's going for a two-stop strategy. He still will need to use the medium tyres, apologies. Oh, and that's Happy. We'll get a Wolf Cola replay. Oh, Ali, we need to go further back for this. This action has started a long time before. So they were racing into turn 1. We've got Happy on the outside here, managing to hold it around the outside. That is actually spectacular driving. As we go through the S's, a bit of contact in the first part, and then in the second bit, more contact that sent Happy into the wall. Go on board with Scudero driver. I'm just curious to see the space that was available for both of these drivers. They were side by side, neither of them was going to lift off, really, were they? Scudero manages to control the car after the contact and stays in second place, but that does force Happy down to about 5th place. Sig goes by, Scanny goes by, and then Luke Mitchell, who just exited the pits, is in 5th. Oh, and you can see we got racing, so Luke on the outside on his fresh softs. Can he make that move stick around the outside? That would be fantastic if he can. He's now on the inside for the second hairpin here, and he does it. That's superb stuff here between the black and red racing cars. Oh, but Scanny, surprisingly, I think... Oh no, for a moment I thought that Scanny had managed to hold it, but no, Luke moves into 4th place there. But Scanny is on slightly worn mediums, and that's a driver off. It's Sig Resanico. What? This is uncharacteristic. This is very uncharacteristic. He made a few mistakes in race 1, which sent him down to 7th place by the end of the race, and they're just on the grass, hitting the wall, sending some sparks towards the other drivers, and that allows Luke to go into 3rd place. So Luke, who's already pitted once, is in 3rd, so he might be able to make this two-stop strategy work. And that's the driver. That's good. He's made 3 corners up in about 3. Sorry, made 3 positions up in 3 corners. It seems like it, because Scudero goes off from 2nd place lately. He limited the damage somewhat though with a quick recovery. Ooh, a bit of contact there with Sig on Scudero. Sig with a robust and assertive move. I think a little bit of contact though sent Scud wide, so a little bit of bad blood I think between these two already. We've already seen contact from both into those hairpins, and Sig getting loose again. Ooh, and Sig sent into the grass. So Sig was trying to be on the outside, Scudero was making a move on the inside, and I do not know how much room Sig had on the outside by the exit of the turn, but he ended up on the grass into the inside wall, and that's his race ruined for the remaining 9 laps. Meanwhile, Happy Hippie has, I think, just pitted. Yes, he's on fresh softs now. He was on medium tyres. I think that's the first of the medium runners to pit. Meanwhile, further up front, we've got the two runners who start on soft tyres. So Mako's tyres are destroyed. His front right, he just has not been able to make that tyre last. So it seems like the two-shot strategy for Luke might pay off with this clean air that he will get after possibly overtaking him. Scuderia driver and Scania now flying. Apologies if we've missed any action. We've got Alex here, who's actually had a bit of a calm race these last few laps. Now in 5th place. And we'll go on board with him as we're catching Scania and Scuderia. We've also got Sammy just behind, so this is a big scrap, and we will move to the battle for the lead very soon. Because I think Luke might be able to make a move. No, so we'll cut back to this battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. You can see all of them there, and Sammy. So Sammy made a move on the inside of the awkward hairpin. Bit of contact, but Alex was already reasonably wide by the time that there was contact. Go back up to the lead, and I think this might be the move now for Luke Mitchell, because Mako on his worn tyres seems to almost just get out of the way, which is probably for the best. Will save both of them quite a bit of time. I don't feel like Mako is racing Luke Mitchell anymore this race. He's more likely to be racing drivers such as Scuderia. Sammy, who's now in 4th place, we've got to catch a look at this. Oh, so Scania, I think, made a slight mistake. And Sammy now sweeping around the outside of the final turn. He does, so good overtaking from the American. Surprised that the American was able to overtake at the right-hand turn, to be honest with you. And Alex now might get past Scania as well, so Scania just falling back, which I'm quite surprised with, as his pace around the circuit has been exceptional so far. Earlier it looked like Scania was fighting with Luke, Scuderia driver for example, but now down to 5th. Mako, who's now pitted, is in 7th place, just as happy to be, so both of these drivers have made a pit stop. As we go into the fast left turn, I think that is the overtake done. Good move there. Happy Pete up into 7th. Charlie Fraser is in 9th place. I feel like he has been into the pits. Unless he's... yeah, he must have gone into the pits and I've probably missed it. 10th is Pits Tecker. Further up front, we've got this battle here. Scuderia driver, now closely followed by Samios, who's on much, much fresher tyres. You can just see the tyre at the bottom. And just purely with that extra grip, Sammy there moving in 2nd place. That's a defensive line there from Sammy, and I don't know if it's going to work because there's contact and Scuderia there pushing him on the exit of the turn. Scuderia have a much better apex speed, and if we just go onto the Wolf Cola replay, we'll catch that. So you can see that with Sammy here making a very deep defensive lunge towards the first of these two apexes. Scuderia. Well, Sammy stays in 2nd, so not too much harm. You can see that Alex, who has been fighting with Scania there, bumping the rear of the Dutch driver's car. Ooh, and that's a very heavy defensive move again. Maybe a little bit too late there. Scuderia driver finds no way past and might even fall a little bit behind her. Ooh, that was close, wasn't it? And so was that there from Scuderia. Maybe a little bit of weaving going on and then a little bit of contact. I'm not sure Alex was even attempting a move, honestly. But while this is happening, all this is doing is allowing Luke Mitchell to make a massive lead up front. And it's just handing the win on a silver platter for him. Scuderia's tyres are destroyed, they're dead. And he's fallen down. Oh, and contact with Scania will have to catch that on replay. I think Scanny's at the... Yeah, we're going to have to catch that on replay and see what's happened. Scanny's tyres are in much better nick than all three of these drivers, especially Scuderia. Scuderia goes wide, he's on the grass. Oh, and just contact before the Scuderia driver just going towards the middle of the track. Scanny was already kind of in the middle of the track, and I think that's well, he's finally recovered, but he's down in 7th place. Bad news there for him. Happy Hippie is up to 4th now as Scanny slowed down to avoid the spinning Scuderia driver. Alex and Sammy fighting for 2nd now, and that's an amazing save there from Alex. Although you could say that it was a little bit poor to have that oversteer in the 1st place. Then again, our championship leader, Sig Rezenico, has that all the time and has often caught it, although earlier on in race 1 was not one of those days. Happy Hippie on the fresher soft tyres might be able to make a overtake here into the awkward hairpin. We'll go on board with him. Ooh, very late braking, so we've seen Happy making a lot of late braking attempts into that turn. Sometimes when alone, sometimes when other cars are around. This time it's worked. No contact into 3rd place. Ooh. And that's an uncharacteristic mistake, an uncharacteristic racing mistake from Alex. Braking a bit too late, similar to a few other incidents we've had at the same hairpin. But Alex actually drops down to 5th and might drop down to 6th as he makes a mistake, and Sig Rezenico there moves into 5th as he does. Scanny was up to 4th. Luke Mitchell, meanwhile, is currently in a race of his own, but he's yet to use the medium tyres. But with a lead this big, I think he's got the race done. He really has. We've now got 3 drivers into the pits. Alex, Scanny, Samios. We haven't caught much of the racing a little bit further back, as some of the drivers have been a little bit lonely recently, but they've now moved up the field. So Charlie Fraser's now in 4th place. Mako is in 5th place. And then the 3 drivers that have just pitted, Sammy, Scanny, and Alex, all on the same strategy, all on new fresh tyres, fresh soft tyres, and they're all within about 3 to 4 seconds. And I think we've had another pit stop, so yeah, Scuderia driver who you could just see how poorly his front right especially. His front right especially was really struggling with the conditions here at Kyoto, and he is in 9th place and has fallen out of that midfield pack. And then in 10th place on old mediums is Pix Tecker. I don't believe he's made a pit stop yet this race. So Luke Mitchell has a commanding lead. We're talking a good 16 seconds, and that is probably going to increase with Happy Hippie. Oh, sorry, Luke Mitchell's lead is only about 10 seconds, but it's 16 seconds over Sig Rezenico. Now, Happy Hippie, I believe, is also on a 2-stop strategy. And then our opening one? Well, I think Mako is actually the leading driver of the 1-stop runners, with Sammy just behind. Luke Mitchell, our race leader, has pitted, and he will actually be on fresh medium. So yeah, he has now used the medium compounds, and he has rejoined in the lead. So considering that Happy Hippie should have to pit again, Luke Mitchell actually is currently leading by an entire pit stop at least. Charlie Fraser will also have to pit again, surely. Might even have to. No, I think Charlie did use the mediums. early on. Yeah, it was Mako and Luke Mitchell who started on soft tyres. Sammy here chasing that final podium position, but with so much of this race still to go, that could actually move him into second place once Happy and Charlie finish their strategies. We've got 5.5 laps to go here at Kyoto Driving Park, the combined layout, and here on the Miyabi part we've got Charlie Fraser defending, so Sammy will go to the outside for this awkward hairpin. He'll cut back to the inside, but Charlie keeps the move. So a few laps ago we saw Sammy almost being spun out with some contact, but here he gets through safely and might make a move now as we enter this hairpin. That's a dive bomb. Does it work? It does. That's a really good move actually from the American. It was clean, it was to the point, and it was on the curb. Didn't go any further wide than he needed to be. Ooh, and that's only going to make things worse there for Charlie Fraser. Meanwhile, Happy Hippie, who was in second, has gone onto soft tyres as has just pitted from his soft tyres as I suspected, and I wouldn't be surprised if Charlie does the same, and he does, as you can see, he indicates towards the lane. Happy Hippie rejoins in third. No, rejoins in fourth. Or does he? No? Oh, this is close. So we've already seen Scani side by side in his S's before. Can it go a bit safer this time? And it does. That is fantastic driving from both of these British drivers. And Happy Hippie's in third. Scani on older soft tyres falls behind. Well, doesn't fall behind, but falls behind there in that little squabble. Oh, we've got a very close battle here for sixth, I think, between Scudder and Charlie. So Charlie's just pitted. However, he's on fresh tyres, he's on fresh softs, and Scudder Red Driver is on very old softs. I think we just had another pit stop. Yeah, it was Pixtegger. He's now on soft tyres. Meanwhile, Mako's made another pit stop, and I think has had some errors. Let's actually catch this on the Wolf Cola replay. So he'd already had a terrible lap, and here's just one of those mistakes, it seems. After one mistake, his tyres were cold, and the spins continued. Luke Mitchell leading very well here on medium tyres with just 4.5 laps to go. He's got a solid 10-second lead to our resident American Samios. Samios is on soft tyres though, so might be able to close that gap, but unless Luke makes a mistake, I don't think there's much that can be done. Our closest battle on track here is for 6th place in the midfield. We've got Scudder Driver and Charlie Fraser. Bumbling over the curbs, but they make it through safely, and that's a very good move from Charlie. Oh, that's a shame. I mean, he still made the move stiff, but it was a necessary contact at the end, and that is Charlie up in the 6th place. Good move around the outside there with that awkward hairpin. We've seen so many different overtakes here. We've seen moves on the inside, on the outside, we've seen cutbacks, we've seen aggressive dive bombs working out. Happy Hippie having a little bit of a quiet race now after rejoining just ahead of Scani Flick. But if we just compare the lap times between himself and Sammy, let's just, so Happy Hippie's last lap was a 7.5. Sammy Ostis was a 4.9. Although, actually, that was because Happy Hippie, that was an out lap, and he was racing Scammy. So that's not really a valid comparison. But he does actually seem to be closing this lap. I know visibly the gap seems to be a little bit closer. That's like the fastest lap of the race so far possible for Happy Hippie. He's had some good sectors here. Purple by the time we got to the middle sector. Purple again. And yeah, the gap is clearly visibly closed. So Happy Hippie got better tyre wear now at this stage of this race, but he did pit a little bit later. Oh, and that's a very aggressive defensive move. I don't think Sammy needed to do that. He had a very comfortable lead. Don't need to defend all the time. Oh, and then a little bit of a move across as we go towards this chicane. Happy Hippie goes towards the outside, but is a few car lengths back. Oh, and we got spin. It's Charlie. Charlie spinning like a top. Beyblade, let it rip. He drops down to 8th place. Big Stacker in 9th and Mako down in 10th. We'll catch up with them soon. But we've got Sammy and Happy Hippie fighting very closely through the S's. If we very quickly go further back... Oh, no, I don't want to take my eyes off this action. And Happy Hippie moves on to 2nd place there, so on the exit of the turn. I think got a better run out, I don't believe there was contact. And that is 2nd place now. So Sammy dropping down to 3rd, but he is on the older tyres. Meanwhile, Scanny has about the same age tyres. Might be able to catch up. We've got Sig in 5th, we've got a battle here with 6th, we've got Alex on Scoot. We've got just 2.5 laps to go. And every position matters with the Rei Sportscar Championship. So this battle, it may be for 6th, but it's still important for both drivers. Both in Nissan GTRs. Both have had some very good races so far this season, and that's very close to the outside wall there. I think there was approximately 1.05 Nissan GTRs of a car space there between the sort of Miyabi pit wall and Scooter Rear Driver as Charlie makes his way through Alex. The crowd there standing up in delight in the background. Jumping over the curbs, and that might allow Charlie to close in on Scooter Rear. Not close enough, and that we've got Alex now, who really want to try and make that position back. He's very aggressive squirming there at the exit of the turn. Now approaching lap 14 for these three drivers, 6th, 7th and 8th. Oh, and tap there on the rear. Maybe Charlie braked more than Alex expected. Maybe Alex braked too late. I cannot tell from this angle. But Charlie has very good tyres, and with those good tyres, moves up into 6th place. That's Scooter down to 7th, whose front right is extremely warm, and I would not be surprised if he falls down behind Alex Sinclair in the upcoming laps. If we go further up, we've actually got Scanny, who, yep, has been catching up. Meanwhile, further back, a battle we haven't really caught, which I'm sorry to say, is Pigstacker and Mako. But Pigstacker's moved into 9th place, meanwhile Mako down to 10th, and that might be down to, well, if there was an 11th place, he'd probably be in it. Just one of those days for the Hungarian. We've got Scanny and Sammy here finally racing. We've got just a lap to go pretty much. And this is crucial. So these two drivers were fighting for the win in race 1. Scani got by with a mistake. This time Sammy will not want to let a mistake cost him the position again. And Alex has actually got past Scuderia driver. Let's just check that out. Oh, it was actually contact between the two. I did not expect that. But Scuderia driver on very old tyres. Alex on the inside. Hard to tell if it was a late braking manoeuvre or not. Driver we really have not checked up on recently is Luke Mitchell, and the reason is because he's been alone. He hasn't been involved in action. He hasn't been involved in action because his pace in clean hair was so good. Meanwhile, others spent too much time fighting, and that has allowed him to get a 10-second gap here to Happy, who has performed exceptionally. He really has, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a race win in the closing rounds of this season. Samios is in 3rd, and Scani's in 4th and has fallen back. I thought we were going to have a titanic scrap between the two, but last time it was Sammy making a mistake at that chicane, and this time it's vice versa. Another one bites the dust for Scani Flick. Could have been a second podium and an overall event win, but it doesn't seem to be. There's Scuderia with his front right tyre dead in the ground. Might be able to get past Alex, but only with pressure. Ooh. Still going quite quickly though, even with such a dead rubber. So this is lap 15 here at Kyoto Driving Park. The next round should be at the Red Bull Ring. That'll be an endurance race. It'll be, I believe, 42 laps. Fuel and tyres will both play a part. Meanwhile, today here at Kyoto Driving Park, it was just tyres. That photographer, getting some good shots here of this amazing Honda NSX driven by Luke. We've got a car spinning around at the back. Is that Mako? It is. Shouldn't really be able to predict that, but it just a bit too predictable it seems for Mako today. Just something not quite going on right. Happy in 2nd, and I think our closest battle is here is around 4, 6, 7th and 8 still. But they're slowly pulling apart with the tyre wear. So as it comes to the final corner here of race 2, we will celebrate a fantastic win here from Luke Mitchell. He flashes his lights in celebration. Congratulations to him. In 2nd place, with the fastest lap as well. It's been a superb performance out from Happy. Nice and consistent too. Sammy held off Scani there for 3rd. Scani might be a little bit disappointed for 4th, but still an overall good event. Sig had a bit of a quiet race to 5th with the 4% power ballast and weight ballast. Charlie Fraser comes home in 6th place after the late race overtakes. Alex Sinclair, he finishes in 7th. Scuderia driver seemed to be a part of all of the action during that race. He finds himself down in 8th place. 9th place with a very good performance, a very good fastest lap as well, a 2:05.4. Would be very pleased with that, is the Mexican driver Pixteco. And then rounding out the field will be Mr. Mikiyamaka. We will see you next time out at the Red Bull Ring. It'll be an absolute blast with the long straights, the tight hairpins. We should hopefully see some amazing racing, some amazing cutback moves, and some amazing strategies with that being an endurance round. So we'll see you next time for the Rei Sportscar Championship at round 7. This was round 6. This was race 2 of round 6. We will see you next time.